Hi, everyone. This is Attorney Lillian Chukura from Lily Legal. I am an immigration lawyer here in Worcester, Massachusetts. However, I have the great privilege of representing my clients from all over the US and all over the world get immigration status and reunify with their families using US immigration laws. So today, as you can see from the title, I'm going to talk to you about US tax returns. Right? When you are filing a joint petition, when you are basically filing for your spouse to get status in the US, do you have to file a joint tax return? Is this expected? And if it is, how do you even go about doing it? Especially if your spouse doesn't have a social security number. That's something that I will be going over with you in this video. Okay, so let's start with this. If you are married and your spouse is in the US, you should be filing a joint petition. This is, for me, this is non-negotiable. This is something you should be doing from day one that you are married. It's not something that you should be delaying, because when you then go to file for your spouse and you have, tax returns while you're married saying that you are single, is going to be a huge problem for you down the line. So I really want to talk to you guys about this because I have seen it backfire. And like I said in my previous video, 2021, we want approved, right? We want approved marriage-based petitions. We do not want anything to be denied. So in order to have approved marriage-based petitions, we want to make sure that we are filing the right tax returns. That's something that's super important. And I want to make sure that everyone is doing this correctly. So if you are married, you should not be filing as single. And your tax preparer should not give you that option, especially if you let them know that you are married. The issue that most people have is that their spouse might not have a social security number. And because their spouse don't have a social security number, they feel that they have to file as single. However, because the IRS wants their money, right? They want you to file taxes. They have created a provision for you to be able to file taxes even if you do not have a social security number. So this applies to anyone that's in the US that has worked without authorization or needs to file a tax return but does not have a social security number. It is called an individual tax identification number. It is solely for the purpose of filing a tax return. This does not give you the right to work. It is not a social security number. It is only for tax purposes. So basically, what we want you to do, what I want you to do, is if you are married and you know you're going to be filing a joint petition, basically a petition for your spouse to get a green card in the US, you should be filing a joint tax return. So you should be filing jointly. There are situations where you might have to file separately, but it should still say married filing separately. You should not be filing as single, because that leads to USCIS looking at the tax return and saying, why are you filing single if you're really married? And then that will also lead to the next question: is your marriage actually real if you are not filing jointly, right? If you are not telling us in a government document that you are married. So that's something to really keep in mind, that you want to make sure that the information you're putting out there is supporting the information you're putting in your actual marriage-based petition applications. That's what you want to make sure everything lines up. So, like I said, if you're going to be filing for your spouse, make sure you're either married filing jointly or married filing separately. And if your spouse does not have a social security number, then you can file for them to get a individual tax identification number, also known as an ITIN, because that will allow you to then file jointly with them or separately, depending on if they, depending on your particular tax situation. But again, if you're going to be filing a joint petition, if you're going to be filing a petition for your spouse to get status in the US, this is something you really need to do. It is not, for me, it is not optional. I will have my clients amend their tax returns because you really need to show that in all your documents that you are married. Single is not an option, and it's not even the best. It doesn't give you the best tax benefits. So it's not really something I would advise any of my clients to do. And if I look at your documents and it says single as your filing status, I will have you go and get that amended. You can file married filing separately. It's the same deductions as single, but you are acknowledging the fact that you are married to this particular individual. Okay, so that is what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. If you have any questions about this or any other immigration issues, please feel free to reach out to me and I will be more than happy to respond. And if you found this helpful, please do share it with your community. Like and subscribe if you're watching it from a place that you can subscribe. Thank you so much. And I will be seeing you guys soon. Bye.